On this week's episode of the CVG Off the Record podcast, we talk about the Spike TV VGX awards and the games that may or may not be announced there, Nintendo, the 3DS, the Wii U, and how it might be able to turn its fortunes around for the console, as well as what we've been playing, which includes games such as Assassin's Creed 4, Resogun, Mario 3D World, and Zoo Tycoon.
Yesterday it's just like big trays of meat. Have some meat. Oh, really? Yep. Have some mushrooms. Yeah, lots of meat. I lucked out because I was sat on the end with all the weak meat eaters. They're like, oh, I've had a bit of meat now. And I go, yeah, I'll have the rest of that T-bone. Ugh. I must have had like 3-4 steaks. Why am I always at the fucking beginning of the podcast?
Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the CVG Off the Record podcast. 3's right.
Yep.
Everyone's looking at me like I've just said the wrong thing, but I know I'm right.
We've just realised that we've committed 3 of these to the world.
That's a good start, I think. We should keep going.
Yeah, 3 is always
the ball
good.
rolling. I'm Tamoor, I'm joined by Andy Robinson. Coffee man Andy Robinson takes the swig of coffee at the exact moment I introduce him.
All right.
Chris Scullion.
All right.
And Joe Scribbles.
Hello.
How is it going, everyone?
Adequately.
Everything's kind of winding down. It's the end of the year. Nothing much is happening.
Yeah.
It's very quiet. We're all just kind of sitting on our hands at the moment.
It has been the quietest.
What are you on about? Gran Turismo 6 is coming out. Everyone's well up for that.
Wow. I'm sure there are loads of people that are excited about it.
They probably are. But
can't wait to get all up in those microtransactions.
I put my last gen consoles in the bin.
Are we including Wii U? We need to draw a line under this.
Wii U is next gen.
Still be on.
That's actually funny because usually we save this for a separate segment, but I'm sure we can just go into it now. Baladir asked on our questions thread, what does the phrase console generation mean now? Because it seems that CVG, along with quite a few others, have decided that the Wii U is in a different gen to the PS4 and the Xbox One. Is it based on power, release date, or some other less obvious reason?
I don't bloody know. I suppose it's it's technically it will be release date, right? I mean it'll be whatever iteration of the console it is. So the Wii U, if the Wii is counted as among the same generation as the Xbox 360 and the PS3, then the Wii U should have counted among these new ones.
Yeah.
But really, it's sort of in its own little gen, isn't it?
What it comes down to is that Nintendo stand outside of time and space.
Yeah, I mean,
what
does it even mean? Does it matter? It's just a phrase.
It used to make sense when all the consoles had similar power. So when N64 and PlayStation came out, that was a generation. When GameCube, PS2, and Xbox came out, that was a generation. And you could tell because you could say this is next gen visuals, and they would all look roughly the same. But then when Nintendo came out with the Wii and kept the graphics like kind of at the same power, that totally
it's lost
up the whole thing. Because
they've destroyed it.
Yeah,
it's kind of lost.
Maybe that was their whole goal with the Wii U.
Yeah,
just going to destroy the word console generation.
Purely based on generations, then the Wii U is next gen.
Yeah.
But so you need to make a distinction between next gen releases and next gen visuals because
I think next gen is a phrase that's bandied about for all new
for
shiny stuff.
Different things,
which Wii U probably isn't. It's some of the games on it look incredible.
Yeah.
But it's not like the next level of visual fidelity, is it?
No.
Probably the more accurate one is it will be included in the same gen. So what is this, like Gen 7? I don't even EA call it Gen 4, I think. Like they're only counting like PlayStation onwards.
Rogue Squadron.
Rogues or just ignorant.
Whatever. We just put any number, whatever we want. But I think it's next gen. It's released. It's Nintendo's next gen console, isn't it?
At the end of the day, the people who don't want to class it as a next gen console are more than happy to look at its sales figures and compare it to Xbox One and PS4. So you can't consider it next gen sometimes, and then when you want to slag it off, say it as a next gen.
Next gen isn't there for your convenience.
Yeah.
So the next step is just Nintendo will release like a third console just tomorrow and just be like, yeah, fuck yes. Like,
how do you feel about that? What gen is this? Go on, explain this.
Gen 1.
But so everything
mid-sized console that has to be carried in a backpack, so it's only a bit portable.
Middle grounds.
Well, if they did like a Marvel comic style, like comic rebirth,
they reset.
They just
New 52
just released the NES
again.
So this is the new.
This is brand new. Go.
New 52, new Wii U.
Yeah,
at work they should tie in.
Right, so everything's calmed down, but this week this weekend, is it Friday or Saturday? We have
Saturday.
VGX.
Yep.
Previously
Awkwardly
known as
named
the VGA,
VGX.
but now it's more X.
So before it was Video Game Awards, Spike TVs. Now, what does the X in VGX stand for?
10?
Video Game X.
Awards.
Awards. Yeah,
Extremely pointless awards
is it
that
actually
people
a 10?
use to
I
look
don't
at
know.
trailers.
I'm just guessing.
Video
I just
Game.
assumed
There's
it
not
was.
been 10 of them.
Video Games 10.
I don't know. But either way.
Well, we don't care. We just want to see the trailer.
We just
anyone
want to
who's
see
ever
the
seen the
trailers.
awards through.
So based on
it's like quite tedious.
Based on last year's and the years before that, we'll get a bunch of stuff we don't care about
And
for the
one trailer
majority among a few good trailers. Maybe if we're unlucky enough, we'll get Felicia Day bobbing for Apple.
It's always a great event for announcements.
Yeah.
And it's kind of traditionally it's wrapped off the year now. I mean, I haven't prepared a list, but off the top of my head, if I was to reel off some of the games that have been announced there, I mean, it's quite impressive. They announced Mass Effect 2, they announced
Batman.
SSX, they announced Skyrim, they announced Batman.
Was it Dark Souls 2 last year?
Uncharted 2, Dead Space 2. Certainly, from that list, you can see EA certainly have it as a flagpole in their calendar.
Yeah. Maybe a bit of Star Wars, possibly.
No, it's too early. It's too early for Star Wars. But if you go back and kind of reel off, pay attention to that list that I've just wasn't verbally expressed.
Yeah.
You'd think that it's likely that based on history, EA will do something. But
didn't Phantom Pain get announced there as well?
Sort of.
Yeah.
That was where they dropped
before
the
that was Joaquin
Mogren.
Kojima and Jeff Keighley are like in bed together, so
literally.
There's a strong chance of that as well. Although it would just be an updated trailer, isn't it? I mean, officially on the public side, it looks like Square Enix are going to do a couple of bits. It's strongly rumored that one of them will be Tomb Raider related.
Yep.
There's going to be a piece of Titanfall news, which, if you believe the internet, is a beta. And on top of that, there's going to be some new Division footage. And Nintendo. Well, Reggie's going to be there. And Reggie doesn't just turn up for anything.
No.
So he's going to announce something. But as someone who's followed Nintendo through the years, I wouldn't get too excited about that.
Yeah,
it's going to be Donkey Kong or at best Smash Bros.
I think it's going to be Donkey Kong.
So you guys were having a discussion about this, and you were joking that it's probably going to be something stupid like Funky Kong is in a game or something.
Well, no, it's someone was saying. I think it was Chris Schilling, the freelance journalist, was saying on Twitter the other day, and he was probably right. Speculating. He said they're probably just going to show the fourth playable character in Donkey Kong. Which leaked the other day, and it's Donkey Kong Senior, Cranky Kong.
Cranky Kong?
Yeah.
Oh, really? That leaked?
Well, there was a box art appeared. I can't remember where it came from. Probably a retailer.
I didn't even see anything
and
about that.
Cranky Kong's like on. It's the same box art except he's on it as well. And they've already said there's 4 playable characters, so that's what it is.
Cranky
Brilliant.
Kong. What is the deal with that guy? I never knew. I overheard someone talking about it recently, and it's like he's meant to be the original.
He's meant to be the
original
first Donkey Kong.
Oh, I did not know that.
That is unconfirmed.
If
I'm going to take the official line, that is unconfirmed.
That's how Rare pitched it, because obviously it was a big gap, 10, 15 years between the original coming out and Country coming out, and the way they pitch it is that the original Donkey Kong is Cranky Kong, and I think the unconfirmed bit is that Junior is Donkey Kong. So Donkey Kong Jr. from the 80s is this Donkey Kong.
He's now Donkey Kong.
We're delving into the to fan fiction.
I love that the
mean,
title of Donkey Kong is everlasting, and
got
it's
even
just bestowed upon whoever's the current
It
monkey
got even more
throwing
confusing
barrels.
because there was in a manual or something somewhere where it said that Cranky Kong was Donkey Kong's granddad. So in reality, Cranky Kong was the original Donkey Kong. This new Donkey Kong is his grandson, which means the original Donkey Kong Jr. may be Donkey Kong's dad.
And he's dead.
Manuals aren't canon.
All manuals are canon.
Look, we've just got to wait
just get some dude to fill them out. It's not like the lead designers in there. Like
the famous one's the Metroid one, isn't it? They said Samus was a man.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, and of course the infamous Birdo Gate.
Oh,
what?
Here we go.
Yeah, the
People might not know
manual
this, so explain it.
Super Mario Bros. 2 says Birdo is in fact a man.
Yeah.
Wearing a bow.
That shoots
Whoa.
eggs And as
And if
opposed-
you
Not
finish,
getting to
if you
gender
finish,
normatives here. Oh, come on.
Since we're on nerdy trivia, if you finish Super Mario Brothers 2, at the end it comes up with all the characters, and Birdo's got the wrong name. It gives the name Birdo to a different
Well, Super Mario
character.
Brothers 2 is a weird game anyway because it wasn't meant to be
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
you know, I think we can allow them some confusion.
Scum.
Right, so
we won't know. Can I just say
Yeah,
we
go
won't know until Donkey Kong Historia comes out, which will almost
Oh,
certainly
yeah.
happen.
Can't wait for that.
You've got to wait for the year of Cranky Kong.
The official Cranky Kong
Did you see this?
timeline.
The year of Luigi's been extended into
I
next
thought,
year.
was it you who wrote that piece,
Yeah.
Scullion?
Yeah.
I thought that was a good shout, year of Yoshi.
Yeah, I think it's
That
gonna
could
be,
work.
I think
Like, do
it's
you know
gonna
what?
be-
There's probably some kind of anniversary rolling round. So
He's got
Well,
two
it came
games
out
coming
in-
out next
yeah.
year, hasn't he?
Well, as long as
Super
Young
Mario
Yoshi
World
does-
came out in 1991, so it's only like, what, 14 years, I guess.
Yeah, well,
Next year.
I checked it. It's 1990 in Japan, but which still isn't
So it is
quite
15
enough.
years, right?
No, because next year will be
14
2014,
years.
so it'll be maybe 24 years or something like that. Or yeah, 14 years. So it won't quite be.
We
An
screwed that one
anniversary.
right up, haven't we? That's
Yeah.
math.
Yeah,
It's
is it-
20
You can't do
24 years,
live
isn't it?
maths.
Is it 24? Yeah,
Bloody hell.
that's terrifying. That
Super,
Super
Mario
Mario
World
came
came
out.
out 24 years ago next year.
That's pathetic.
It's a
That
year
makes me feel a
younger
bit
than
ill.
me.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. It shouldn't make us
I'm
feel
alright,
too
I'm
bad
only
because we
25.
didn't.
Yeah,
We didn't
I
get
was
it
gonna
until
say,
Does that
3
mean
years
like
later.
Donkey
I
Kong
came out
Country's
24
like
years
20
ago.
Yeah.
years old?
Yeah.
Literally.
We shouldn't feel too bad because we didn't get it for years later. But even
Oh, that makes me feel much
But
better.
even then, it's still we're still. pretty
So
old.
what we've established here is you two are old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So Yoshi's got 2 games coming out next year.
Yeah. Well, if Yan Yoshi comes out next
Oh, it's
year,
not. It's unconfirmed.
we've only seen very early screens.
Yeah, but
no one knows what that.
whiffs of one of Nintendo's like just pump out 6-hour, 7 out of 10 games, like i.e.
Yeah.
how they treated the Kirby games.
I would not like to
No, that's,
speculate.
that's not a bad thing, but I'm
Mm.
trying to think of who actually is the developer of that game. But certainly the Kirby games, they could pump those out. Like
They
were
are.
pumping them
There's
out
a
all
new
the
one
time.
coming out in January.
Yeah,
Is it the same
so
people
it's
that
just
did
going to be like that.
Kirby's Epic Yarn? Is it Goodfield that's doing?
That's not been announced.
No,
I mean,
you would
you'd-
imagine.
You'd
so.
assume
Nintendo
if
never
they
We
Right.
bring
didn't
out another
ask you if
Yarn
it's
game.
been announced.
Yeah, Joe. We asked the
tell us.
facts.
Look,
So, and the
guys,
the other
it's
one
getting
is-
uncomfortable. we're flirting with the boundaries of an official license here, and I know that I'm going to step over it at some point.
At some point, you're gonna get an email from Iwata saying you're fired.
Some serious hot
You're
water.
going direct.
I'm going to have Iwata literally throw hot water in my face and say, "You have stepped into hot
They're
water."
gonna-
Direct
they're gonna-
to your face.
They're going to fly Miyamoto over to
Yeah.
upend your table.
He's gonna upend you into a tea table.
Oh, that'd be incredible. That'd be like proper wrestling moves.
And then just lean in real close and do that smile, and then leave.
that smile.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the other one is Yoshi's Island 2.
Yeah.
right?
Yoshi's
Which I'm
New Island.
super
It's
excited.
called,
I
isn't
am-
it called Yoshi's New Island?
Yeah.
Yes.
I had a quick go of it earlier this year when they did a post E3 event. It might have been at E3 actually.
Mm.
It looks like arse.
Yeah, it's not. Cards on the table. I'm not currently impressed with Yoshi's New Island.
Since when are we still using
Yoshi's New Island?
Since when are we still using
Gnocchi.
pre-rendered sprites?
Well,
That's the
since
weird
I
thing.
mean,
The weird thing is that this urban legend that when Miyamoto was working on Yoshi's Island, Nintendo said to me, "Want it to look like Donkey Kong Country," and he said, "I fucking hate Donkey Kong Country." or words to that effect. And
And throw a
that's why
Tito-Moore
Yoshi's
each hand.
Island has that kind of colour and book effect because he did it almost as a protest. That was the legend. So it's weird that now you look at Yoshi's New Island and it's got pre-rendered characters like Donkey Kong did, which apparently was what Miyamoto didn't like in the
And
first place.
similarly, it's like that. What's that Mario RPG Silver Stars one? That's got all the
What's
pre-rendered
Yeah.
the
digital
Wii U
sprites.
Yoshi game called?
The Wii U Yoshi game,
Yeah.
Yarn
Yoshi,
Yoshi.
Yarn
Currently,
Yoshi.
they've not given it a
Title.
name properly.
That looks shit tons better than
Yeah.
Well, it looks incredible.
Yoshi's
Like
New Island.
what they've
Yoshi's,
they haven't shown it
Yoshi's
moving.
Game Boy Advance Island, which is what it looks
It
like.
looks more like Yoshi's Story. Yoshi's new story.
don't
no,
they
it
just
doesn't.
use the
Yoshi's Story
original
looks shit tons
aesthetic?
better.
Really? No, but it
Yeah.
had pre-rendered as
And that
well.
was on N64.
The thing is, Yoshi's New Island. I don't know whether they've brought out these kind of these preview builds, and it feels very similar to the originals. And I think they're kind of just happy to put a new visual spin on something that will feel similar
a new
to people.
shittier visual spin.
Yeah, well, that's for them.
But
to
they
decide.
updated the visuals a little bit on Zelda as it was
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah,
still
Link
early
Between
days.
Worlds. So fingers
see how it
crossed.
goes.
And they're on such a roll with 3DS.
But I think it will be 2014, the year of Yoshi. You heard it here first. They will announce that I've decided.
Are we done with Luigi? Nothing more coming from Luigi. It's just going to drag for a few more months.
Well, if you want me to like remove the veil from their lies, there are only ever 2 Luigi games anyway, right? They just branded up the ones that he happened to be in.
Yeah.
Yoshi's in Mario Kart. That'll be branded up.
Yeah,
that's the thing. They've still got the things they announced with him in were the next Mario Tennis and the next Mario Golf, which they both pushed back. So it's probably going to continue until those come out.
So now they can be Year of Yoshi games.
Well, yeah, they'll probably be they'll be the liminal space between those 2 years.
They'll be the last games in the fiscal year of Luigi.
Well, that's the thing. This is the thing. Everyone's like, well, 2013 was. They announced the year of Luigi well into 2013. Shows a base ignorance.
Yeah,
the Gregorian calendar dominating the year of Luigi.
It's the fiscal year of Luigi.
Exactly. That's what we want.
I want to see that in actual press
Q4 Luigi is when it kicks into action.
Q4 Luigi.
Nintendo reports Q4 of Luigi results.
So the other thing at VGX, which we'll return to now, is
that's what
the ongoing speculation that Fallout is going to be shown there. So this
don't know.
Yeah, it's weird because the teaser site popped up, and Reddit went ape shit and said it's finally happening. This follows. Years ago, there were like this guy who said, I'm in Boston and they're here looking at the Institute of Technology and that kind of thing. So it's going to be set here. That faded away. And now there's copyright listings and stuff like that, and domain listings. But a lot of people on the thread were like, "Oh, this is."
I mean, I think we proved last week that it's very easy to fake those trademarks and domain listings, all the Shenmue free stuff that was just completely bogus. And I've spoken to Bethesda, and they're not saying anything officially. It's just complete silence on this. And I don't know if you should read into that or not. Certainly. I don't have any insider knowledge on this. I would say that they have a lot of games on their plate. What they've still got to bring out Evil Within.
Nothing from Bethesda's team, though.
That was my next point. That specific team will be working on the next thing.
But
in terms of Bethesda, the company, and having their roster of games and sharing a spotlight on all of them, they already have quite a busy calendar.
Wolfenstein, Evil Within.
Wolfenstein, Evil Within, and there's another one as well.
With forgetting Elder Scrolls Online?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if it ends up being real, great. If it ends up being fake, I don't think people should get too disappointed because there are countless fakes like on a near daily basis now. So it's not like this is...
The weird thing is that teaser site that popped up, someone is continuing to maintain it, which is interesting. Like everyone's, even though a lot of people have declared it fake, it's still being updated regularly with new teasers and clues and stuff.
But you have to ask yourself what the objective of a teaser site is. Because if it is real, they've not done a very good job, if you ask me, because everyone just thinks it's fake. I mean, sites like us are not reporting it because there's no evidence whatsoever that it might be official. So, I don't know, it's just an irritating noise in the background.
It's all about the ARG. Everyone loves an ARG nowadays, so let's go with that. I don't know. It's the weird thing is, like, if this teaser is a fake, the person who's made it has probably fucked themselves over, because clearly they want Fallout 4 at some point. It's about the right time for a Fallout 4 announcement. This is the kind of time when people would get really into it.
Did they announce Fallout 3 at VG's as well?
They might have done.
There was a trailer on.
There was that really awesome trailer.
Yeah,
I think they might have shown New Vegas as well.
Yeah, New Vegas.
Yeah, that was the
world
trailer.
on fire.
I was just playing it. I don't know if that was VG's.
I think they did New Vegas there. So they have done a Fallout there before.
I don't remember the cool tune behind that one.
There was no.
It's interesting. No one's talking. That's why they've renamed it VGX instead of Video Game Awards, because no one cares about the awards. The award, you get this feeling when you watch it that the awards are almost just a pain in the arse.
Maybe it is like Expo.
Because they only ever some years they've only ever announced a couple of awards, and then like in between advert breaks they say, "Oh, by the way, these 5 games won these 5 awards," and just like shut them out really quickly.
I mean, it's important to the industry because it's broadcast on cable television out in the US, obviously. So it's a big platform, and that's why people use it for their announcements.
Yeah, it's definitely
it's become a flagpole in the calendar, isn't it? I mean, I'm excited to see what comes out of it. We'll probably see 4 or 5 games announced on.
I'm looking forward to seeing Reggie in a Cranky Kong beard. That's what I'm pretty sure is going to happen.
My name is Cranky.
That or some excellent Smash Bros information.
I'm about
Sorry, I'm back on that again now.
Cranky Kong's probably in Smash
taking
Bros.
names, kicking ass, taking names, and being Donkey Kong's grandfather.
He would never.
He's the
say
missing Kong in between.
Maybe that's
Reggie Kong.
Maybe that's the announcement. They're going to officially announce. They're not going to announce Cranky Kong's in it. They're just going to give the information. The family tree will pop up, and he'll be like, "Yeah, check it." See ya.
Reggie's holding a scroll to the camera.
Yeah,
there you go. Grab it while you can.
the
Done.
genealogy.
Funky Kong instantly realizes he's had some incestual relationships and
Oh
leaves the
goodness!
company.
So what else is going on in the world of video gaming? Nothing much, right? We're all just kind of sitting around.
There's Gran Turismo, which means it's good that right at the very end of this generation we've finally got a game where we can drive
Peggle 2
around
next
in
week.
a moon buggy.
Peggle 2 comes out next week.
Yeah, Peggle 2 is out on Monday. That's the future. That's the Christmas game.
Of course, we're not sitting around. We're actively planning our Christmas coverage.
Oh yeah, we are as in
We're
the
well
gaming
busy.
world at large is kind of grinding.
Well,
to a
the
halt
gaming
now.
world at large has taken itself a well-earned holiday.
Yeah.
This year has been an absolute bastard if you're working in the games industry.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's the first year in 8 that I've used up all my holiday just to sit at home and do nothing. I feel like we've had 3 or 4 E3s this year.
Yeah.
I've cried many times over the last year.
That was a big jump to an emotional moment.
I could see that. I could see that just during E3. Just go and have a little cry.
No, it's been at my desk like mid keystroke, like
I'll
be halfway through review and then just tears start flowing.
Mid PS4 breakdown. That
Yeah,
you had.
exactly.
I was
3 a.m. in
looking
the
forward
morning.
to the Christmas break where I can sit down with the 72-hour epic that is Rise, which I've been informed is a really good game. I've not played yet, so I can't wait.
But it's always it works that way, doesn't it? Because if the game media says something is arse,
Everyone goes, "It's
these
wicked."
days I believe that a lot of people make up their own. I mean, no, I don't believe anyone that just sees just our review or just someone else's review and goes, right, I'm not getting that because it's 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
You decide these days whether you're going to get a game, well in advance. That's why people take pre-orders 6 months beforehand, and it's also a byproduct of the fact that every game these days you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Like I could list you out games next year that are coming out, and you sort of would know how they're going to play, and you know whether that's the sort of thing that you're into, and you know whether you're going to buy it or not. Like the next Call of Duty, the next Battlefield, you don't need a review score to tell you whether you're going to buy that. Rise is perhaps a different case because it's a new IP. Mechanically it's a bit different, but I think you always see that backlash when the games media slag something off. You then see an upturn of people saying, "Oh, it's not," just like you see with Knack now. If you dare say Knack's a bit shit,
Hip Hop Gamer will punch you in your face.
Hip Hop Gamer
Shots fired!
will sort you out.
Shots fired!
But if that game got good scores, it would be the opposite.
We'd be getting hammered. People saying you don't know how to review games. This is shit.
But it's always.
But it's one of those things, right? You are allowed to enjoy a 5 or 6 out of 10 game.
Chris
it just
does it
means
regularly.
they're a bit. Well, yeah, Scullion loves a crap game.
Dynasty Warriors is my
favourite
favourite.
It just means that critically, when you're looking at objectively next to the other releases out there and that are coming out, it's an average game. Doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. Games are designed to be enjoyed, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of interesting. I mean, the thing with the backlash is just that the unspoken for group will always speak out louder. So the people who think Knack's good, like the people who think it's shit, aren't going to talk about it because they're like, well, there's a whole
it's been
2,000 words there.
I think the other element is that the bar's been raised. I mean, this generation has culled off so many small and medium-sized studios, and that's why you now see the indie movement, because that's what it's caused. You don't get a shit game anymore. No one releases a shit game.
Yeah.
The bar has been raised to the point where every game sort of looks good, every game mechanically works, and every game is entertaining to a point. Like, it's not like the N64 or PS1 days where you genuinely get 1 or 2 out of 10 games that are utterly broken and like infuriating. I'm trying to think of an example, like a Superman 64. You don't get a Superman 64 now because it wouldn't be released.
I mean, that's why Steam Greenlight.
There'd be so much. If Superman 64 was being made today, there'd be so much riding on it that if they thought it was crap, they just can it. I mean, you see stuff like EA with Command and Conquer now. They must have sunk tons and tons of money into that game.
Yeah.
If they decide it's not up to scratch, they don't release it. It's
literally the only exception to that is Ubisoft, and I like the vast majority of their games, but in every launch lineup now, there's 1 or 2 Ubisoft games that you can look at and go, that one's a bit shit. Like you get Fighter Within, for Xbox One. On Wii U, you had Game Party Champions, and I don't know if that wasn't Ubisoft, was it? They had a different one.
Oh no, that might be them.
The Ubisoft special shovelware department is probably the exception.
That's the only exception.
They actually have a shovel. They probably
obviously they have a
shovelware department.
They obviously then with that they've got Assassin's Creed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they
I mean,
have great games.
Earlier this year you reviewed Just Dance, was it?
Yeah.
And that game, I remember personally, I don't play him. I just see him now and then. That game looked bad, but you were saying it's actually a copy pasta job. Is that right?
Not
copy pasta.
Quite. It's.
That's what I'm having for dinner tonight.
It's sort of. I actually don't have too much problem with.
But
the
you
Just
love
Dance
it because
series.
It introduced the greatest character of this year.
Well, Smug Aladdin is the greatest character. Just buy O&M to see Smug Aladdin. He's an incredible addition to the Just Dance canon. But yeah, there's the weird thing with Just Dance is they haven't changed the mechanics since the first game because no one wants it changed. I mean,
dancing's a pretty difficult mechanic to change.
How do you evolve dancing?
Do they need to reinvent dance?
They need to reinvent the Wiimote being able to move in any direction at any tempo and getting perfect scores.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Like no one goes into a Just Dance game going, I'm going to come out pretty much like Ashley Banjo. So it's pretty, it does what it does. It's a copy pasta job. But the interesting thing, the part of my review with Just Dance, I don't know why we're talking so much about Just Dance, but
why are we talking about Just Dance?
Ubisoft. The interesting thing they do, and this is a weird moment in games at the moment where you get certain games that iterate in very clear directions like Battlefield and Call of Duty, and then you get certain games that stay exactly the same and then just add more and more like wrapping paper around it. So in this one it had the auto dance feature where it films you and makes GIFs out of your face.
Is that a bit like Autolog in Need for Speed?
I don't know. I have not played Need for Speed.
That auto dance feature was funny though.
Oh, it's really good.
It's really good, yeah.
I still occasionally turn it on and film Matthew when he's not seeing.
Clips of you and then smashes them together
and turns them into
weird,
this awful GIF.
I do find it interesting that Just Dance is a series that has gone on for so long with broken controls and no one gives a shit. People are totally fine with it. Because like the 360 version of Just Dance with Kinect works actually really well. It picks up your movement because obviously it's tracking the body, and it's how Just Dance should be. Whereas the Wii version has always been broken because the remote can't pick up those sort of movements. And yet people don't care. The 361 sells nothing, and the Wii one sells dickloads every year.
Well, I mean, everyone knows. The vast majority of people who still buy things for their Wii are people who want a very different experience to.
I can't believe we're talking about Just Dance 3.
Just Dance is
impressive. If I don't get 5 stars,
2014.
If I don't get 5 stars in a song, I'm livid.
So let's move on from that.
There's plenty more that the Wii U offers for this year. We were discussing what, a popular topic in the office is how Nintendo could turn around the Wii, because there's been a lot of a resurgence of love in the office for Wii U. People are genuinely excited about preaching about how good it is.
Well, it's complete, it's complete opposite of this time last year, right? Yeah. I mean, there's no reason to pick up a Wii U.
Zombie U.
There's no reason to pick up a Wii U till 6 months after it came out.
I like that your tone is in line with the sentiment right now. Just like
if you pick up a Wii U now, like there's at least 3 or 4 like genuinely really great games you can get.
Yeah.
And it's funny how we talk about it in that respect in terms of well, you automatically know you're selling it to someone who's not, doesn't own one and hasn't go and pick up 6-month-old games, but it has a library there. It's a decent library. It's if they pick up any of the form that they have on 3DS at the moment, it's going to be a special machine.
That's the thing.
And the fact that they're exclusives as well, that's the one thing. Xbox One and PS4 competing to try and get all these exclusives, and there aren't many. You've got Titanfall, you've got each console's got 1 or 2 kind of exclusives coming up. You think, all right, but when you look at the Wii U and you've got Lego City, Zombie U, Wonderful 101, Pikmin 3,
3D World,
Mario 3D World, Zelda, the new Super Mario Brothers U, which is okay. Nintendo Land. There's loads of like exclusives there.
It's going to take the PS4 and the Xbox One like a year to get going, basically. If history tells us anything, because of the scope of these projects, just like Wii U, right?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You kind of hear people in the office talk. I think someone was talking about it the other day, or I might have said it in my head and I've remembered it. But the idea that a year into this console's life, that there are that many like solid gold games on there that are exclusive.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised to see both of the other consoles match that in their
everyone
first year.
Everyone who has a Wii U, who I know, and they're all games journalists.
Yeah.
Because we're the only ones who know it exists.
Yes.
Love it. It's a messaging problem. I don't think there's anything wrong with a console. I mean, you speak to anyone on social media or whatever who own a Wii U, they really love it. I really enjoy my Wii U. There's, like, as I say now, there's about 4 or 5 games on it this year where I've spent 20 hours plus playing through and being thoroughly entertained.
Yeah.
It's a messaging problem, and their messaging has been an utter disaster. The core gamers don't think it's for them, and the casual gamers don't know what it is. They need to completely reinvent their marketing plan.
But is it too late into the cycle to reinvent it? Because, I mean, Rob put out that piece where he says we use the right choice. Is it really the right choice?
It's nothing to do with the console becoming a success and turning around. It's just, if you want some really fun games this Christmas, you can get one for 150 quid in the UK, and there's like 4 or 5 games that you get that are, you know, top notch. Whereas on the Xbox One and PS4, at the moment, there's not so much, unless you want to play a prettier version of Battlefield and Assassin's Creed, which you can already get on your current gen machines. There's little to offer in terms of actual games on the new machines. That's what he's saying, and I can see that. Like, anyone who gets a Wii U this Christmas and is not looking beyond Christmas will be thoroughly entertained. Can it turn itself around? Who knows? I mean, certainly at the momentum at the moment, it's an utter disaster. But at least they've actually, they've got games on the system now. And a year ago, I wouldn't have recommended Wii U at all. No. 6 months ago, I wouldn't have. The games have finally arrived, and it's finally, feeling like a decent machine. Like, Miiverse is great. There's lots of good stuff to get off of the eShop as well. I mean, some of the games are like quite good value as well. Can't you get like Rayman, the definitive version of Rayman Legends for like less than 20 quid?
Yeah.
Off the eShop.
I'm not sure if that's a permanent price reduction, but it has been at that level. Like, Ubisoft have gotten good at digital pricing suddenly.
Can Nintendo turn it around? We need to see. Certainly sales have picked up on the back of Mario, but not to the level. They're not going to hit their forecasts for the fiscal year at all.
If Mario Kart comes out soon enough, there's a chance that there's going to be some momentum behind it.
They need to have release after release after release, and it'll pick up. But for me, they need to decide who the machine is for and market it to them, because as it stands, they're treading water and hoping that it'll just sort itself out. You will find hundreds of people who will repeat this anecdote, but I had a friend come over who is a core gamer last week because he wanted to know whether to get PS4 or Xbox One, and he was having a go on the machines, and he noticed my Wii U, and he said, "What's that?" And I said, "Oh, it's Wii U." "Sorry?" It's the Wii. It's a new Wii. There's a new Wii. Like, I showed him the controller. Yeah, it's got a tablet controller. It's got a what? Like, I might have to consider getting one of these. Didn't know it existed. It's not like this guy lives under a rock either. It's just it's nowhere in pop culture, is it, at the moment?
I don't mean to insult your friend, but he sounds like a bastard.
The problem is
true, right? I mean, like, if he's a core gamer, and I class him as a core gamer, and he doesn't know what it is. My mum and my sister, or my uncle or my brother or whatever, who are not core gamers, they're not going to know.
The problem is, and this was something that was raised at the time and has continued to be raised, the moment they called it Wii U, that was the problem. Because eventually they've had great success when the Wii first came out with its advertising campaign on TV and stuff like that, and over the years that's just become background noise because people are used to it now. So when there was the Wii, then there was Wii Sports, Wii Play, Wii Fit, the Wii Zapper, all this kind of stuff. So when the Wii U comes out, the natural progression is to think that's an extension of that.
Yeah.
So when a Wii U advert comes on, no one sits and says, "What the hell is this?" Because remember when the Wii adverts first came out, it was just a hand showing the Wii remote and saying, "What is this?" And people looked at it and says, "What the fuck is that?" And then they said, "This is Wii," and no one knew what the name was, and everyone was weird, and it felt new and fresh. Now when the Wii U comes out, it even makes the same noise. It goes ding when the advert starts, and people who have seen 6 years of Wii adverts already don't turn around and say, "What is that?" Because in the back of the head, in their mind, they know that's another Wii advert, and they don't even.
I ran a story beginning of last year, stating that, and it's absolutely true. There were a lot of people internally at Nintendo who were, petitioning them not to call it Wii U after they'd done it at that disastrous E3, which You know, we could list the problems they had in messaging in the run-up, you know, on two arms.
Yeah.
Obviously, what you're saying there, the problem with people not being quite clear what it was. They didn't even show the console, did they?
No.
They showed it looked like a tab. I mean, already automatically people see a controller or a tablet on it, they think it's handheld or it's an add-on or they need to. I think it's a good product now and it's a good console. They need to sell it if they want any chance of it not going on a downward spiral.
Is it too late to rename it?
Do you think there was an interesting idea floated?
Nintendo 2DS tells you it isn't, but I think that would only confound the problem.
I just think
3DS. It's easy to forget that 3DS had exactly the same problem and they sorted it out. Well, 3DS's first year was disastrous. It was too expensive. They launched it as a core machine. That's what they were doing. They had exactly the same problem. They launched it with Street Fighter and no first-party games whatsoever other than Pilot Wings. They purposefully held back the first-party titles to give the third parties a chance, because that's historically been a problem on Nintendo platforms, is people just buy Nintendo games. And they backtracked massively after that. They cut the price. I mean, they gave out all the free digital games. You remember in retail in the UK, at least, I can't think whether they did it in the US, they were putting stickers on the box to make it clear, big red stickers to go, this is a 3DS game, not a DS game.
Yeah.
People thought it was, they'd already released like 4 or 5 different kinds of DS. So by calling it 3DS and not another brand again, they were confusing the customer on that. But they turn it around. They released I think they released the XL, a year later maybe?
Yeah, just about. I think the XL coincides with them becoming the force that the 3DS has become.
They went back to what they're best at, which is releasing, their great first-party games.
It's been incredible.
It's 3DS, they regained the momentum that they didn't have at launch.
Yeah.
It's kind of, and the interesting thing with 3DS is they managed to, they didn't just sit off the back of this string of brilliant first-party games. They did things like the 4 games for the price of 3, there's so many games promotion, where the whole point of that promotion pushed at everyone wasn't you can get a discount. It's we have like 8 brilliant games that you can get now. And everyone sees 8 games and goes, I can get that.
It's easy to forget Wii Fit as well.
Yeah.
When's it at retail? It's got to be like soon, right?
It's before the end of the year. I mean, it's out.
It's this month. This month, it's coming out physically at retail.
Yeah, but you can already buy the Wii Fit meter, which gets it for you for free.
Those original games are like 2 of the best-selling games of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not rule that one out at all either. But as I say, none of these games are going to do anywhere near the numbers they need to until Nintendo starts marketing this thing properly.
Mario Kart's the test. Mario Kart's the one where if the TV advertising campaign is done right, it will make families go to the shops to buy it, and when they find out they'll need a different console to play it, that might be the thing that...
Well, they just release a bundle. You go Mario Kart and a thing.
There was an interesting idea floated where Nintendo re-promote the thing as a completely new console, but instead of the gamepad, they tie in the 3DS as the primary control mechanism. So basically use the 3DS the amount of penetration and attach the Wii U console to that.
Probably technically not possible.
That sounds quite
I
far-fetched.
certainly think, and I would be surprised if they're not planning already, they need some sort of relaunch. It's like we said there with the 3DS. The 3DS kicked off when, and I might be making this up from memory, it was about a year afterwards, wasn't it? And they released the XL and pushed on from there.
Yeah.
I think they certainly need to release a new version. I think anyone who's used a Wii U or owns a Wii U would agree that there's plenty of room for improvement on the controller. It's still a little bit bulky. I'm sure they could make it now smaller, perhaps improve the resolution on the screen, because it's not the greatest screen in the world.
Yeah,
I think basically it's wicked, and 3D World is fucking
So, yeah.
brilliant.
That's
So
the
go
thing,
buy one.
I don't know if many
You think
people
the company line?
You very rarely get people saying I bought a Wii U and I'm disappointed with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
People who buy it are,
but you rarely get someone saying I bought a Wii U either.
Yeah,
But it's like I said earlier. Everyone who owns a Wii U, it's the same problem with the Vita.
Yeah.
Everyone who owns a Vita or a Wii U that I know I've spoken to loves it. I love my Vita as well.
Yeah.
But it's just difficult to put that point across to someone else why they need to buy one of these.
Yeah. I suppose the Vita also kind of disproves the renaming thing as well, and that was a completely different name, and that alone wasn't enough to get people interested in it. So simply calling it the Wii 2 or the Nintendo U or something like that isn't enough.
So basically, that is our thoughts on Nintendo. It's good, but it's struggling. Please buy Wii U. So I'm interested in finding out what you guys are playing currently, briefly. So, Chris, what are you currently spending your time playing?
At the moment,
loads of shit games, I assume.
Oh yes, I've been going between FIFA on Xbox One, bit of Resogun, bit of Forza, and been playing Zoo Tycoon for review. The review should probably be on CVG by the time you hear this. No, it won't be. It'll be up soon. Zoo Tycoon's decent. It's surprisingly decent.
It's not Viva Pinata though.
No.
Which is making me sad.
Will anything be? Nothing will be Viva Pinata.
Does it work? Is it good?
Zoo Tycoon's surprisingly good. There's it's got a kind of weird curve where at first you think this is too simplistic, and you think, oh no, wait a minute, there's a bit of depth to this. But just as you get into it, it kind of hits a wall, which will be explained further in my review, which you can see in CVG.
Can you like hold on to an elephant's trunk and
can you
point
ride
it
an
at
elephant?
stuff?
You can wash an elephant.
You can wash an elephant.
That was my first ever game DVR. Me washing an elephant.
Can you
to test it out? I narrated me washing the elephant as well.
How was
it's
that
on my gamertag SBO1. You can go and watch it. It's like, yeah, go on, love. Yep, get in there. Get those dirty bits. Wash under the ears. Yeah,
although it punishes people that invert their sticks like I do.
This is an amazing story.
I know this is annoying because when it maps the arm movement and connect to the right stick as well. So I always invert my sticks when I play a game. But so when it comes to hosing down an elephant or feeding apples or whatever, when I move my arm up, the arm on the screen moves down. So I try to wash it. I'll aim up at the elephant's ears and I end up washing its feet instead because
it's rightly punishing the fool who invert their controls.
That is the correct way to do things.
What is that?
Did you send an email to the developer?
It's not a flight simulator.
Because the right stick usually control. I can go into nerdy detail about
because if
this.
you imagine that the top of the stick is the top of someone's head. So when you pull it back, their head goes
bullshit,
up.
man.
That's how it works in my head.
Just imagine your thumb is on someone's head, right? And when you pull it back, their head goes up like that.
But why don't you just point it up
to
look
you're controlling your head from the back of your head or the front of your head?
I imagine myself with a hand on my head.
That's the thing. The problem is when I look at this, is just a thing of mine. When I look at a controller, I see the two sticks, and what I see, the left one is a little pair of legs, and the right one's a head.
Why don't you see
I'm pushing the head around. It's going. Why
don't you see him as two eyeballs? Like,
what? Because two eyeballs.
What on earth are we talking about?
You're mad. Is this the new Steam controller? It's just got eyeballs on it. Haptic feedback eyeballs.
If it actually had like an eyeball decal on it.
Screams
if you're the sort of person, if you don't use inverted sticks, try it out for a while and see.
Don't do that. We don't.
It'll blow your mind.
Your friends will have you committed.
It'll make you feel correct. Apart from
Zoo Tycoon, like you're flying a helicopter in every game.
Yeah,
I pretty much do. That's what I'm up for.
Although oddly enough, Crimson Dragon, I can't play. I can't control it with inverted sticks.
I don't think that's anything to do with inverted sticks.
Yeah, that's not your fault. That's their fault.
General.
Andy, what are you playing? Apart from ridiculous
Mario.
fishing on trains, which I saw you doing the other day.
I'm playing Mario. It's keeping me away from the new consoles, to be honest. Obviously, I had pretty heated review period with both, so I did kind of crunch through the new machines, and now I'm enjoying Mario, and I'm saving Assassin's Creed on PS4 for Christmas. That's going to be my Christmas game.
I'm playing Assassin's Creed.
I'm playing that too.
I've started it, and I'm still in the first area because there's a lot of shit to collect on that map.
Yeah,
instantly.
Are you in Havana?
Ken Levine seems to love it. Have you been seeing his Twitter?
No, is he tweeting about it?
He's going off on one about Assassin's Creed. Yeah, he apparently was up until 6 a.m. last night playing it. He said it's his ideal game because it's like Far Cry meets Sid Meier's Pirates.
I just play it.
Amazing.
I just play it now. Like, I've stopped playing the storyline because the shit battles are too much fun. I literally just play it like I'm constantly in a tiny version of a Total War game where I'm just like galleoning around, stealing loads of rum, and then just flying away. It's brilliant. It's so much fun.
Yeah. See, I've just the first area. I've just gone around collecting all the treasure chests and doing that kind of thing. And the shanties can be really annoying. I hate. Power-ups collectibles should not run away from you. That is not right.
I thought you were talking about shanty towns. I thought you were like, I hate shanties.
No, not
just
shanty.
full of
I'm alright with
unwashed masses.
Grew up in one. So
no, man.
I thought you were talking about like sing-songs.
Yeah, no, that's
what I'm
it
talking about. Sea shanties.
I got confused.
So how does the song run away from you?
When you go to collect it, they move away from it.
No. So we're not talking about the act of your men singing the song.
It's not like SingStar.
No. It's not like when you tell them to sing, they will just jump off.
It's like one of those stupid Animus pieces that.
Yeah, you've got to collect them before you learn them,
and then they sing that song that you've collected.
Yeah, there should be sea shanty DLC. I want them singing. Like
I tweeted about this. I said I want them to be singing "Wicked Game" by Chris Isaac by the end of this year. Because
they should just do like modern pop songs like Lady Gaga and stuff.
Just pop
difficult
classics.
Yodel in that.
Huh?
There's difficult yodel.
Yeah, if you just had all these guys just struggling to hit the notes.
I've heard there's What Shall We Do with a Drunken Sailor.
Yeah, there is. I mean, that is a sea shanty.
Amazing.
There's one where they all go, "It's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie, lie, lie," and that I just love it. Every time it comes on, I just stop and listen to them for a bit.
I haven't got to the part where I don't have a ship yet. Although I'm going around and rescuing the pirates, and everyone. This is the beginning of the game, so
there's no point in doing that at this point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, don't rescue the pirates.
There's very little context. Like you're not.
Let them die.
They don't tell you like you're a really famous pirate. I'm just assuming I'm a really famous pirate because every time I rescue them, they're like, "Thank you." His name's Edward, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. He's like, "Thank you, Captain Kenway." And
yeah.
like,
They
How
still
do you know who I am?
They still have a
even
problem with the way they do the storytelling. Like I'm not that far into it story wise, but there are bits where I'm picking up secret hidden assassin contracts.
Yeah.
My guy doesn't know who the assassins are.
Yeah,
at this
neither
point
does
in the
mine.
game. He's just like, better take this scroll and kill a man.
I was explaining this, talking to Andy about it. It's so weird the way he becomes an assassin. He's just like, that's an assassin
Steals a man's
costume.
coat.
I'm going to wear that. And then he's an assassin. It's just like...
It's some weird
that's
stuff.
fine. You're trying to like pretend you're an assassin to get some money. But then he knows all the abilities and he can do eagle vision and
people
weird...
talk about the modern day thing, holding the game back. And I completely disagree. I think it's the assassin thing that's holding the game back.
Really?
Like, well, what's the concept of the game? Like, people would say, "Oh, you're an assassin." That's not. The concept is you're revisiting history to solve mysteries in the present. They shouldn't have to all be, "Oh, look," because that always has to get shoehorned into whatever narrative they go back to. Like, "Oh, he's a pirate, but he's got to be an assassin at some point, so he's got to meet some dude and then have the eagle vision." And it's always really forced.
I would genuinely
It would have been better if it was just like, "Oh, we need to like." This guy discovered some artifact that we need to solve a mystery in the present, so we go back and revisit him. Like, why does he have to be a man with a hood and a? I mean, I know it's their brand and it's the signature of it. He can have the hood and they just not explain it.
I quite like their integrated take on shooting and stuff now. And every time I'm doing it, I'm just sitting there going, they could just make like a Wild West Assassin's Creed game where he doesn't need the hood or the blades or anything. He can just go around with a rifle and be a really cool man with a white hat. And just be brilliant, and that would work. Like if he just found something, and then he found out about this huge conspiracy.
I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't do an equivalent of Brotherhood, because they for everything they got some. There's some big flaws in Assassin's Creed 3. It can be an infuriating game, but they got a lot right. I mean, the setting was still great, and the world was still beautiful, and there was still huge potential in the character. But hey, they screwed up Altair in the first game. And they showed that they can fix him. I wanted to give it, and Ubisoft are quite good at that, at listening to feedback. And if they put out a crap game, or a disappointing game,
complain about it. They will listen.
You've got a pretty strong chance that the next one will be decent, like this. By the sound of it.
Well, the most amazing thing about it is they now have the modern day stuff. They've abandoned Desmond, and now it's a first-person game where you're walking around the Abstergo Entertainment offices. And it's a huge joke about how Abstergo Entertainment is actually Ubisoft, and they're an evil corporate.
I don't get that either. I played it for a couple of hours at preview stage, and I didn't get that at all.
I think it's a storytelling thing that goes on.
I know how
like
it works,
it's kind of
but
strange.
why are they Ubisoft? Like,
they're basically
it's like they've broken the fourth wall, right?
Yeah, totally.
I
think it's really
old
weird.
games and stuff like littered on your desk.
I think
Assassin's Creed games.
It's like they've spun it out so that they are getting gamers to help them hunt down the pieces and the information they need to be a stronger Templar.
They now have mad meta stuff where in game you rate the missions after you finish them, and that's actually feedback.
I liked that. Yeah,
well, it's really weird. Like that, you're now like giving them the feedback mid game. Like you're interrupting your own game to give.
But
Ubisoft
I don't
the stuff.
get the kind of the game hook. Like you go around, it basically is Ubisoft, isn't it? Like there's actual Assassin's Creed games and figures of characters.
Well, the only one they mentioned
is
Liberation.
So the idea is that we're releasing these games. That's just a bit weird.
It's
Why
really
couldn't
strange.
we just be
it's
testers with the Animus?
It is just like an alternate universe Ubisoft. It's really strange. Like you go up and look at Montreal from their balcony and stuff, and it's just Like it's mad, but to me it just seems like Ubisoft Montreal have finally gone, oh, you know what? Let's just kind of make fun of it.
I think they've jumped the shark with that one.
I think it's good they've jumped the shark because it was so po-faced and you'd had Danny Wallace moaning the whole time.
I love that. Danny Wallace isn't in this so far.
He is.
It's only because Ubisoft are just historically really crap at making characters. Like Christ, name any other game franchise from this gen as big as
Ezio,
as Assassin's Creed that has a shitter main character than Desmond.
Yeah. Oh, Desmond sucks. Ezio's quite good.
No, Ezio's great. I'm saying I don't think Ubisoft has any other characters as good as Ezio. I can't think of a single one. That Far Cry guy can do one. Whatever his name is, Jason Brody.
But Desmond is arse.
Desmond's arse, yeah. But I mean, the problem with him was he's a legacy thing, isn't it?
The problem is he is a legacy leftover from a time where they were even worse at making characters. I mean, you play Far Cry as well. The characters in that are the worst thing about the game.
They suck so much.
Yeah,
just
definitely.
Horrible yuppie children. Yeah, I think they've done all right with Edward Kenway, and I think they're getting a better sense of what they need to prioritise. And I feel like this is a big step forward for me. I haven't enjoyed an Assassin's Creed game properly since Assassin's Creed 2. Like, there have been good ones, but nothing that's made me go, brilliant. Like, this is why
they need to reinvent the wheel a bit now.
They put the wheel on a boat. What more do you want?
Nice. And you can buy new wheels. Yeah. You can get them in Uplay.
What else have you been playing, Joe? Quickly.
Just that, really. Yeah. And Mega Dead Pixel, but we've talked about that too much.
Many times. Resogun I've been playing quite a bit as well. And I was explaining to Chris earlier, this might be a public service announcement.
Yeah.
We couldn't figure out for the longest time why our humans trapped in a box kept randomly dying. Because it says keep her like detected or whatever. Yeah. And then you've got a certain amount of time to reach the box, the cage where the humans are. And then sometimes they would spring out and you can collect them and take them to freedom. Or sometimes they would just drop dead. And yesterday I figured out there's certain enemies that are glowing green.
Yeah.
That you need to kill those particular enemies and their energy activates the cage, which lets them out. And then you can do it. Yeah. So now I've gone back through the game.
Probably so many people listening right now going,
you idiot.
It's just bizarre like because that game doesn't have a single screen telling you what to do.
No, it doesn't tell you that.
I don't like that.
That's brilliant. That's why Wonderful 101 is the best game of this year.
I don't like long tutorials. I don't like long tutorials that say here's how I'll do this, do that. But even just a single screen saying, by the way, shoot these green things.
I love that. I love that feeling of working out what it is you've been doing wrong, and then just
I love that too.
I understand it.
I love that too, but I was getting frustrated because the game constantly says human dead. Human dead. Yeah. Basically saying you're failing. You keep stop being shit.
When it ends, doesn't it scream apocalypse at you or something?
And everything explodes into loads of a completely unnecessary particle effects thing.
I need to get this game.
Yeah, it's free on PS Plus. Yeah. Just download it. It's really good. But now I've been going back through levels.
And so is Contrast, which I like, but annoys me because it's glitchy as hell.
I've been playing Blacklight as well, Retribution. It's a free-to-play shooter. Actually decent. It's not bad. I had fun playing it.
Is that Zombie Games?
Yeah, that's Zombie Games. Yeah, they're doing the next... they're doing that Jessica Chobot written survival horror game. But,
tell you what else I'm playing really quickly. I don't want to spend too long on it. Doctor Who Legacy on iOS is surprisingly good.
Oh, is that Puzzle and Dragons thing?
Yeah, right. It's free to play, but it's free to play done properly, and that you're never forced to buy anything, and you can unlock everything just with patience and leveling up. So yeah, get that. It's free.
It's free play. Or you could just get Puzzle and Dragons, which is also free and kind of does it okay. But I didn't find that game all that fun. I was just like, this is boring. I don't understand why Japan is going crazy over this.
I don't know. There's something about it.
But yeah,
read some questions, Tamoor.
Quick questions.
Is Tails' Joy in there?
He got really angry last week after he wrote a gibberish comment, and I read it out word for word, and then he thought I was trying to do a character assassination on him. I was like, no, I've just read what you wrote. Maybe I missed a word or something, but it was weird. It's your fault. When's our Christmas party and can we come? We don't have a Christmas party, and no, you cannot come.
Yeah, they can come to the pub.
Oh yeah, you can come to the pub. Do you actually want to tell them where the pub is?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Just don't tell them when you'll be there.
Yeah, sure.
Come down to Marylebone in the pub and send me an email and I'll come down and have a pint with you.
Yeah. Marylebone. Do you know the name of the pub?
Any time of day.
What is the name of the pub?
That's the name of the pub.
There's loads of pubs in Marylebone.
Yeah, just tell us you're in Marylebone and you want to be at a pub with us and we'll come. Our emails
don't bring weapons.
Yeah. Preferably after 10 a.m.
Please don't try and kill us while you're there. Yeah. Did you watch Charlie Brooker's thing the other night? No. What did you think of it?
It was decent. you know, it wasn't bad.
I didn't know it was a list.
I thought the most remarkable thing about it, though, was that it was on primetime Channel 4.
Yeah.
Followed by Indie Game the Movie.
Like, I mean, it was very, very outdated structure, wasn't it? It was a list with some talking heads. Yeah. It didn't really say anything.
What did you think of the number one pick? The game that changed the world. And spoilers, it was...
So this is the
what
problem. This is the problem with.
I see. Okay.
This is the problem with people and television. That even Tamoor didn't notice that it was going in consecutive date order. There wasn't.
Oh no, I noticed that. I noticed that.
It wasn't the number one game. It was just the most recent one.
Yeah. Well,
I called it beforehand. I thought
nothing since Twitter has changed the world.
No, because it's weird because it went chronologically right up to number one, and then number one went back to Twitter.
Yeah.
It was just I just get the feeling that they went past Last of Us or whatever the last one was, and were like, shit, how do we end the show?
No,
because it didn't really have anything to say. It was just going through, this game was great because of this, and this game was great because of this, and then, oh shit, how do we end it? Rather than, because it would have been a bit weird if it ended how it started. Like, this game was good because it did this. I mean, see you later.
Obviously, it wasn't entirely aimed at us. It was aimed at people who aren't kind of into video games. It was trying to prove why they should care about games. And obviously, number one was his attempt to say, "Oh, you're already playing games, but you're already playing one."
Yeah. I was hoping for more from it, to be honest. I mean, because
I enjoyed it, but yeah,
I feel a bit embarrassed because I know like most of the lead writers.
Yeah, so do we.
Oh no, it was well written. When I say it was decent, I mean it was refreshing to watch a game documentary on. On primetime TV that didn't drop a massive clanger, which they always do. Like say something ridiculous or just outright incorrect.
And I like the fact that
it was well written and it was solid. I just would have liked something a bit more ambitious from the structure.
Yeah. I like the fact that they explored the stuff that, kind of, it was like an 8 Mile moment. You probably never seen 8 Mile, but in the last bit, Eminem. Okay. It's just one of those weird, trashy movies.
Have you not heard my accent? I'm so urban.
It's like the end bit where Eminem decides, I'm going to cuss myself before he can cuss me. And it was like, it explored stuff like the objectification of women and stuff like that, and kind of said, it held its hand up saying, this is the bad stuff about games. But there's also these amazing things. But
I felt things like Papers, Please and stuff, didn't
they put Papers, Please in. I felt like, you can tell, like, Matt Lees wrote that.
That's what I mean. It was well written. You could tell that the guys who knew what they were talking about, John and Matt, have gone through and gone, well, here's the games you should do, and this is what you should say.
I feel like they started with Twitter, and they used Twitter as the starting point, and then went backwards.
I would have preferred if they stripped all the numbers out and then just made more of a documentary of it.
All right, quick fire questions. What's your favorite type of donut?
Krispy Kreme chocolate topped.
Is this from the same guy who's going to come to the pub?
No, this is
Fishy Ginger. Good news. Yeah, custard in the middle.
I don't have one.
Barry316 says, I'm rubbish at Rezo Gun. We've just explained how you can be better. Fishy Ginger also asks, if Bentner can score a goal, does that mean Half-Life 3 is coming? Surely it's an omen.
Well, Shamak scored the day before as well, so...
I think it's the rapture. I don't think it's anything to do with Half-Life 3. It's just we're all going to die soon.
I don't watch football, but I really like Mario Balotelli because he's a troll.
So, he is an incredible troll.
Why aren't there more games about making you laugh? Because it's difficult.
Apparently that game Stick It to the Man that came out on PSN that no one's talking about is an absolutely incredible, hilarious game. So check that out.
Check that out.
I used to think Conker's Bad Fur Day was hilarious when I was about 12.
Because you throw toilet paper at a giant shit. That's why.
Yeah, it's a bit
big old poop.
The last genuinely funny game I played was Lego City Undercover.
Oh, that struggled. Some of that was funny.
Most of Double Fine stuff is quite funny.
What's a really funny game? There's that game Jazz Punk that's coming out that's meant to be hilarious as well. I have not played that yet.
Finally, Flash 501, microtransactions are becoming more and more common in games in the past few years. Do you think that we are headed for a future where just about every game will be engineered in such a way that it's almost impossible to complete without making in-game purchases?
No and yes. You only have to see through Microsoft's Xbox One launch lineup to see that they've clearly adopted a strategy where all of their games will have optional microtransactions. Do I think any of those games are engineered so that you have to use the microtransactions? No.
Not really, no.
I mean, I think it takes a bloody lot of hours to get a decent car in Forza. You could argue that, but I think it took a bloody load of hours in the previous ones to get that. I haven't got a problem with microtransactions as long as as he says, the games aren't engineered in such a way that you have to use them.
Yeah.
There are games that do them right, and it just makes gaming more accessible to people who just want to come in and get the best gun.
I think at this point in time, at the start of a new generation, when they're still charging 60 quid for games, it becomes this issue where it's like, I've paid literally the top dollar I can pay for a game, and they're still asking me for more money. That's
I think they're
shitty.
they're preparing for, in a couple of years you're going to see the prices come down, because as the digital shift happens over the course of this generation, which it will, the prices will go down.
At this point, I'm happy paying a microtransaction in a free mobile game. If it gets to being a huge, like, sprawling epic that cost me 20 quid, I'll probably happily pay for a microtransaction in a few years as well. Yeah. It's just a question of getting the value for money.
They need to be very careful when they're putting them in, that they don't turn it into pay to win.
Yeah, publishers will always take any opportunity to ask for more money, but over time I think they'll get used to putting it in there properly and become better with game design. I don't think we'll ever reach a point where you will not be able to complete a game without paying money. Yeah. But I think they'll get smarter about it. They'll get better at it, and it'll happen over time. But free to play is definitely not going to.
That said, microtransactions in multiplayer can get fucked.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but the thing that I say again and again about this generation, this might be a nice note to end on, is that the most exciting thing about it is how open the new platforms are compared to their predecessors. And as long as that transparency is there, as long as people can self-publish their own indie games on these platforms, if gamers think that something is bullshit in a first-party title, they'll go and buy an indie game and it'll become a hit.
Yep. Excellent place to stop. Thank you for listening. Please vote, rate, and review us on iTunes. I was going to say vote, rate, and review us on iTunes and subscribe. Spread the word. We need to get up the charts. We're at like 156 or something like that. And now there's at least 119 shitter podcasts above us. So please do that.
Ensure that justice is done.
You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Tamoor H. You can also follow us on Xbox Live now, can't you? That's a new feature.
Yeah, I'm SBO1 on everything: Twitter, PSN, Wii U, and Xbox Live.
I am Gotham Gunman on Xbox.
This week he's Gotham Gunman.
This week I might change. Before that I was Ride the Shoe Puff, and then before that I was the Elusive Man. Which is quite good.
Ride the Shoe Puff's the best one you've ever done.
Yeah, I don't like the formatting. It was weird. Yeah, but you can follow me there. I'm on PSN. I'm Oro_X. Chris, give us your details.
Scully 1888, as in the X-Files woman, and as in the year Celtic Football Club were founded, on everything.
I'm 2+2 is Joe. The 2's are numbers, the rest are words on Twitter. Don't bother trying to get hold of me anywhere else, because I just won't bother. He
doesn't care about you in any other capacity.
Deeply upset with you.
And follow CVG_news on Twitter, and visit our website at cvg.co.uk and do other things in your life. Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.
Play sports.